Secretary, in exchange with Mr. Mills, you just testified under oath that you never owned a private jet. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to enter into the record article here from February 15th of 2023. The John Kerry family private jet was sold shortly after accusations of climate hypocrisy. Mr. Secretary, do you stand by that testimony that you've never owned or
I personally,
your family?
by
your family?
Personally, yes. My wife owned a plane and she sold the plane.
You flew on that plane.
He says he doesn't own a plane, so he's not a hypocrite, but his wife owns a plane. Kinda crafty of him.
Not in a number of years, but I have flown on it,
And
sure.
this article is not then inaccurate, that your family owned a plane, you flew on a plane.
My wife
Mr.
owned
Secretary,
a plane.
here's the issue.
Yeah.
This isn't some kind of partisan gotcha. When we are asking Americans to make serious sacrifices as we transition for the common good.
This Waltz guy, he's exactly right. This Kerry guy and people like him, they tell the average person, the peasants, oh, we gotta stop using coal, we gotta stop burning wood, we gotta stop eating meat, we gotta stop using gas, for the children and all that. And yet they have their own private jet. Another example would be DiCaprio. DiCaprio draws attention to the decay of our planet and calls for climate and environmental protection. But that's just for the Untermensch, not the rich elite like him. And no, I'm not a communist. I'm just highlighting the hypocrisy of these people. And so I was curious about how much this yacht uses in terms of fuel, and I found it. According to the manufacturer, the yacht can accommodate 22 guests and 30 crew and has a range of almost 6,000 miles when its tanks are fully laden with 115,000 gallons of diesel. Oh, nice. Estimates show the Viva 2 produces 238 kilograms of carbon dioxide per mile, almost as much as the average British peasant car emits in 2 months. And they're missing one little thing, the helicopter. I don't know how much that emits. Alright, back to the video.
At least to set the record straight here. I do not fly on a private jet.
But you just said your wife owns a private jet. You may not fly on a private jet, but your wife still owns a private jet. She is your spouse.
I do not fly. I fly commercially.
Have you
on
flown
all
on
of
a
my
private jet since you've
responsibilities.
taken this position?
Just let me finish. I have flown 5 times in the last 2.5 years on Millair, which you also fly on, or some of you who travel fly on, 5 times. Otherwise, all of my trips are commercial
Have
airlines.
you flown on a private jet in a personal or official capacity since you've taken this position?
Possibly once. I'm trying to think of
I
a date.
think you need to take the broader point of how this appears to the American people
But no,
as we're asking them to
let
take
me
that.
tell you why.
We're
not asking
these
Americans.
testimonies?
We're not asking Americans not to fly.
You're
You're trying to create an unequal thing. We're
No,
not
we're
saying
asking-
don't.
Typical politician. We're not asking Americans not to fly. No, this is about climate change, CO2. You're telling Americans to reduce their CO2 emissions while you're flying around in a private jet, or your wife is.
Lead by example, Mr. Secretary. That's what we're at. You,
Which is why I
family,
fly
and others
commercially.
lead by example.
Which is why I fly.
In that vein, does your office or the State Department keep a record of your official travel and scheduled meetings?
Of course.
Does that include the individuals you're scheduled to meet with? Can you provide those records to Congress? Will you provide those records to Congress?
Of who I've met with?
Your official travel, taxpayer funded, while in this position.
Sure, happy to do so.
Thank you. I appreciate that commitment. Switching.
So in summary, this Kerry guy or the DiCaprio guy, they fly around in private jets and such, or they schlep it up on great big yachts that belch out more carbon dioxide than the average person does in 2 months. And that's why, me personally, I don't take this climate stuff seriously because of all the hypocrisy. Well, that's it for my thoughts on this circus. Take care out there in Clown World.